That moment when you're not sure if you should film your monthly wrap-up first or get the book review out of the way before you start drinking. I think this book review deserves better treatment than rum. Hi, by the way, I'm Erin, and this is where I talk about books and drink, apparently, heavily. So today I'm going to do a book review for The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. This is a classic. It was written in 1968, and it is one of the first English language detective novels. He is definitely considered sort of a father of the genre. Having read the book, I can see where he has also inspired many of more contemporary writers, including Agatha Christie, Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes is not a writer. Sherlock Holmes is a character in, I'm really not drunk yet. Regardless, I want to talk about this book. The version I had, the edition of this book that I had, was 462 pages of tiny little print. And it took me a long time to get through it. I'm not usually someone that would take, I believe it was 16 days to read a book. Now, in my defense, in the middle of that there was Diversathon, so I took like 4 or 5 days to read other books. But still, it seemed like it took a lot longer than it ever should have for me to finish this book. We'll get to my rating later. I want to talk about it a little bit because in a lot of places I found it really slow, and that comes down to a difference in writing between 1868 and today. Today we expect things to be more to the point. We want, come on, get through all that stuff. Don't give me all this flowery language. Just tell me what's going on. And this book focused a lot on the flowery language and things that were not quite so central to the plot, or didn't appear to be central to the plot. This book is told from multiple points of view. So, what is The Moonstone about? The Moonstone is about a diamond, a yellow diamond that during Britain's heyday of colonialism and taking over all different parts of the world, when they were in India, a member of the British Army stole this diamond, yellow diamond called the Moonstone. And the diamond was cursed. A really bad fortune was expected to come to anyone who had the diamond. There were members of the Indian society who were pledged basically to protect the diamond or reclaim the diamond should it go missing, and it did. So this guy steals this extremely valuable diamond, takes it back, and because of this action, this general sergeant, this military titled Herncastle, is pretty much kicked out of his family. So there was 2 brothers that were together, and one stole the diamond, and the other one knew that he did, and had, and to steal the diamond, he actually killed people in order to steal the diamond and burnt down this temple and basically caused death and destruction. And he was not a good man. He claimed he didn't have the diamond, but he was basically kicked out of his family. On his death, before his death, he tried to contact his sister and build a relationship with her and his niece, and his sister turned him away. And so when he died, he willed this diamond, the Moonstone, to his niece. And she was 18. As you can guess, she was not the most responsible with it. It soon disappeared. It was stolen. It was actually stolen the first night she had it. And the suspicion fell in a lot of different places by a lot of different people. The story starts out, there's a prologue where you see the diamond being stolen, and then, none of this is spoilers by the way, this is like really early on in the book. And then the story is taken over by the butler, Betteridge. And Betteridge, he is unique when you look at serving staff of that time. He's very, well, I don't know if he's really unique. He runs the house, basically. He's in charge of all of the other serving staff, but he also really cares about his family and the people that he serves. Like, his family being the wealthy people, not that he has family. He actually does have a daughter, though. And so the story starts out being told by Betteridge, and his what happened in the days leading up to the birthday. And well, yeah, so he tells the story about how this uncle had tried to come to the niece's birthday the year before, and he was turned away at the door. He tells the whole story about how the diamond then comes into her possession and the other characters involved in that happening, as well as throughout this there are 3 Indian men and a little boy who are in the vicinity while this is happening, and they're waiting for an Englishman to come, and that's the man that's actually bringing the inheritance to the niece, Rachel Verinder. Anyway, so this happens, the diamond is stolen, and chaos ensues. And so we start out with the story from Betteridge's point of view, which also gives you a lot about him and some of the other characters. But it's really about Betteridge. He's very cocky, he knows his place, but at the same time, he sees himself as above a lot of the other people that work with him. So he tells his part of the story, and then the story, the second part of the story, the narrative, gets handed off to this cousin of the family. She is the classic Bible thumper. She's extremely religious, and she honestly believes that her job in life is to convert everyone around her. And when she learns that someone is dying, and if that person, she doesn't think that they are devout enough, she leaves readings and books and pamphlets all over. So this is like, she's kind of a humorous character. And when I got into this part of the book, things picked up for me a bit, and that was when I decided to stick with it, because I really thought that this maiden cousin that is very poor and very, martyred herself was quite fascinating and entertaining for me. And it was hilarious, right? That, no matter what happened and no matter how many times she was told no, she would try to stick a pamphlet in your pocket as you were walking away, kind of thing. So that was really interesting. But then the narrative at the end is told from 7 or 8 different perspectives. Now the last few are very short. They're like 1 or 2 pages where they tell you like a brief little bit of information basically about what eventually happens after they find out who stole the diamond or what happened to the diamond, then where things go from there. A little bit of an after, summing up of some details. I don't want to go too deep in that. But I thought that, the character of the Inspector Cuff was interesting because he's like a forerunner to the Sherlock Holmes and even Hercule Poirot, where he's like, he comes in and he believes he knows everything, and he's got, this is what I believe, and nobody else believes it. But he knows, right? He's so sure of himself. So it was fascinating that way, and I'm really glad I read it. I ended up giving it 3 out of 5 stars. And I only gave it 3 out of 5 stars because I didn't love it, and I hate the rating on Goodreads because it's a really well-written book. There's just so much in it, but I don't want to rate it lower because I didn't enjoy it as much because it's written in another time. So it's really hard for me to go, it was amazing. Because it was, for when it was written and what it does and the absolute impact that author and that book have had on the entire genre, it is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. But when you look at it as how much I enjoyed the book, it's probably a 3. I don't want to give everything, a 4 or 5 because, that's what I should have. So I struggled with the rating on this one because I thought it was just really well executed, really well done, but I struggled reading it. I was slow reading it, and there's just so much flowery language. But again, it's the same thing. I get upset when people give Anne of Green Gables low star ratings. It's like, but that was who she, like, that book is written in the first person, which this also is, and that was who Anne Shirley was. So how can you rate it poorly because of all the purple prose, which, anyway. I'm not a literary pro, so I don't know, but I found that for me, it dragged a little. I thought there was a lot of stuff that I had to read that I really didn't care to read, but at the same time, I thought it was a great book. So take the 3 out of 5 stars, with a grain of salt. Understand that it is a great piece of literature. I recognize that. I understand where it falls in the whole world of literature and what it does. And maybe if I reread it again in the future after getting some more classics under my belt, I will change my review on that. But right now it's a 3 out of 5. But if you enjoy the mystery genre, I really do think you need to give it a shot, because I just thought that it was a delightful book, and it will give you a lot of reference when you read any other police procedural, mystery, cozy, whatever. You'll see where a lot of this stuff started from, and a true pioneer in the industry is, what he can do with a lot of words and a lot of characters. Anyway, that is my review of The Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm trying to keep my reviews under 5 minutes because I realize no one wants to listen to me talk about a book. So yeah, I hope you're enjoying these. I really am trying to do more reviews this year. I want to tell you about the books I'm reading. I know that they're not popular. I know they're not what everyone's reading. So I really think that maybe you'll be interested in that, because you can watch someone talk yet another video about the same book, or you can maybe get an interest in another book that you haven't. Moonstone by Wilkie Collins. Thank you again for watching. I hope to see you again, and I really hope that you give me some comments down and feedback down in the comment down there. Down there. Oh my god. Anyway, no, I'm not drunk. I've just started drinking. Have a great day. We'll see you again. Bye.